Sarah Slean, and you're watching the Permanent Rain Press.
All set? So you've been in the music industry for over 15 years now. When you were younger, did you imagine yourself pursuing a career in music?
No. No, I didn't. And, you know, it's like that John Lennon quote, life's what happens when you're making other plans. It's kind of what happened to me. I was a very passionate academic. I was interested in science and brain science, still very interested in brain science. But life just took me this way, and as soon as you get out of your own way, it's like you find a current, and the current just takes you, and that's really what happened to me.
So you're currently on your Land and Sea tour, which is of course the title of your latest album. Can you tell us what inspired the music behind it?
Sure, I began writing for a project, and you never know what's going to be, you never know what shape it's going to take, and as the songs were coming out, I noticed that they were sort of gathering around two separate centers. And the land stuff, lyrically, was focused on the here and now. It was about all the tangles and dramas we get ensnared in thanks to being a separate ego or a separate individual consciousness. And the sea portion was that intuition we all share that we are one phenomenon or part of a larger consciousness. So they didn't just compare musically, they very much contrasted lyrically. So when I figured that out, I realized that they had to be released together. I couldn't release one and then the other a year later. I wanted them to be side by side so that you could sense that contrast and derive more meaning and richness from it.
Do you think you could pick a favorite from the two if you had to?
That's like picking your favorite child. It's kind of weird, but there are definitely ones that I like to play more than others. I love to play Life from Land, and I love to play the Cosmic Ballet from Sea. I guess that's why they're the first songs on both records.
So what's the writing process like for you? Like, is it very relaxed, or do you feel stressed at any point?
You realize at one point that there's so much of it that isn't really you. You know, I hone my skills. I know an instrument. I've learned to sing all these 15 years. So you keep those channels open. But as far as the divine inspiration or whatever it is, you have no control over that really. You just have to be ready for it. So I try to get out of my own way. But inevitably on every project I get to the point where I feel I've been waiting so long I can't wait any longer, and I get freaked out and stressed out, and then I have a bit of a breakdown and I give up, I surrender, and that's when it all comes.
For those people who haven't heard of you before, could you describe your music and sound in one word?
Oh God. No, I could not. No, well maybe I would use the word art, because I've never considered myself a singer or a pop singer or a songwriter even. I feel like my project is to make art, and you know, that's what I've devoted my life to, and so it takes many different forms. I use many different media other than music, and there's a lot in there.
So besides your musical background, you've also appeared in a couple of short films, had your poetry published, and exhibited your paintings. How do you find time to balance all of these artistic endeavors?
I don't really. Music is my number one priority, and that takes up most of my time. Touring is really, there's a lot of time involved in that. But I mean, painting, that urge really only strikes me every 2 years, and then have this explosion of visual artistic output. I don't know. I just kind of try to cultivate a state of readiness, if you will, and just be available to the inspiration when it strikes.
So at your shows, you will have a joy jar for people to contribute to. Can you tell us a bit more about the idea and its purpose?
Sure. The joy jar, there'll be one for to take one and one to leave one. And if you make one and leave it, you can take one. And they're just essentially little cards with a very a positive message on it that people have been filling out all over the country. We started in Winnipeg, I think. And the intent is to pass on some positive energy to a complete stranger. So people have really been surprising us too. They've been writing some profoundly beautiful things to people they don't even know. And we're photo blogging them all, and it's just this lovely chain of positivity. You know, we're inundated with negative news pretty much 24/7. So this is just a way for us to participate in a community that we're passing through, to engage with people and to make it a positive connection.
So I guess that's very important for you to do, right?
Definitely.
Spreading the love.
That's right.
What do you hope to accomplish in your music career within the next year?
Ooh, that's a very good question. I've given up on timelines, really, because I feel like they're limiting and they cause undue stress. I feel like the universe has a better timeline for me than I could ever impose. So I try to let things unfold naturally. But I would like to finish the musical I'm writing. That's my #1 goal, I think, for the next year.
And lastly, this is our signature question. We ask all the people we interview it. If you could be any ice cream flavor, which would it be and why?
If I could be any ice cream flavor, which and why? Oh, there's so many good ones. I'd say mint chocolate chip. Because why? Why? Because it's cool and refreshing, but it's got a little bit of decadence in there as well.
That's a good answer. A lot of people we interview actually say mint chocolate chip.
Do they really?
It's a very common one. Good answer. So thank you for taking the time out of your schedule to chat with us today.
Thank you.
Don't forget to check out Sarah's music if you haven't. Her latest album, Land and Sea. And check us out, The Permanent Rain Press, for more entertainment, news, and interviews. Thanks for watching.
You're lying to another. That's not love, that's just wishing. Wish and love are not the same.